Let's take a look at our lineup today here on The Now. New cars have a lot of new technology to try and keep us safe, and it's keeping people out of crashes, but may not always work perfectly. So we have what you should be looking for in your car. And two big name brands have recalled their inclined baby sleepers. Now we're looking into new concerns about similar products still for sale. And another Major League Baseball team is now planning to extend netting after a fan was hit with a foul ball. Now, it's just the latest case of this happening, how more teams are also promising changes now.
Chris, thank you. Welcome into the Now Indy on RTV6. I'm Amanda Starntino. It's summertime in central Indiana, and that means spending a lot of time outside enjoying the weather. But that also means the return of those pesky mosquitoes and some of the diseases they carry. Working for you, our Aaron Lish shows us how you can try to make your yard an oasis and not a mosquito paradise.
The interior guy can start on this bush.
John Utterback and his Mosquito Joe team make a game plan to tackle this home and its greenery. The spray is used to fight against mosquitoes as well as fleas and ticks. For Lori Pax, she wants this so her family can enjoy the outdoors.
We like to be outside. Obviously with the pool and the kids being, and we want the kids to have fun and not be eaten alive out there.
Utterback says these insects are hiding in your backyard.
Mosquitoes like the lowest, darkest, dampest spots. So as you get closer to that tree line, that's where the adults are going to be. And even in the daytime, if you walk a few paces into the woods, you're just going to get hammered by mosquitoes.
Full force with all the rain we're having.
You have to have standing water for mosquitoes, and we've got so much standing water just everywhere.
Don't forget to dump cups, pots, and buckets that may collect water around your home.
Mosquitoes will lay eggs in there, and those eggs will turn into larvae. Even in a cap full of water, a mosquito can lay over 100 eggs.
Along with repellent-containing DEETs and having fans to deter mosquitoes, Utterback says their spray will last around 3 weeks. So far, it's working for Pax.
Whenever, it's nice to be out there and not have to go back inside because of it.
Enjoying the summer without the menacing mosquitoes. Aaron Lish, RTV6.
Now, maybe we'll decrease the puddles here as we go forward. That'd be a good thing. 83, that's our current temperature. As you look at Victory Field last night, the grounds crew had to grab the tarp and in quick order cover up the infield. Had an interruption with that downpour that rolled through. We will not have that scenario tonight. We're going to stay dry this evening. And the breeze is nice out of the southwest, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. That will calm down a bit, and temperatures will drop into the middle 60s for overnight lows. I show you the radar. We're not going to need it in central Indiana. Closest thunderstorms are near Chicago. South Bend will be in the path of a few strong storms. A thunderstorm watch in effect in the northern portion of the state. Broader view of our temperatures. No one getting too carried away down in Lawrence County, Bedford, Mitchell, Oolitic, all around 86, while everyone else in the low 80s. Through the evening, this is the game plan. We'll see mostly clear skies. The wind out of the southwest around 15. Temperature by 11 o'clock down to 72.
The First Lady tweeting today that her spokeswoman has been promoted to press secretary and communications director. Stephanie Grisham's replacing Sarah Sanders, who resigned last month. Grisham is one of the longest standing and trusted members of the Trump campaign. She'll keep her position as spokeswoman for the First Lady on top of her new press duties. The FTC is cracking down on illegal robocalls. They are targeting several operations responsible for more than 1 billion robocalls. Today, the FTC announcing settlements in 3 cases. Now, in these cases, people were offered bogus credit card interest rate reduction services, a scheme which targeted seniors. Other cases involved money-making schemes. So far, the FTC has caught 145 robocall violators. And while there is some new legislation to reduce healthcare costs, certain aspects are still skyrocketing in price. Annie Taylor with a look at some of the most expensive treatments.
As we age, we're more susceptible to illnesses that impact our health for longer periods of time. As if learning you or a loved one is sick isn't enough, well, the price of treatment is often almost equally as shocking. AARP looked into the cost of nearly 100 specialty drugs. We're talking about treatments for things that affect older adults, like cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, pulmonary hypertension, and they found on average, treatment for just a year can cost nearly $80,000. That's more than what most households make a year, and it's 3 times more than what Medicare beneficiaries typically have. So this costs everyone, because our tax dollars cover some of these drugs through Medicare and Medicaid programs. But ultimately, it's leaving people to make decisions they shouldn't have to make, like paying bills or buying medication or simply going without.
The number one solution that we offer to people who are facing a high prescription drug price is to talk to their healthcare provider. A lot of times there's a less expensive alternative, potentially even a generic version of another drug that is used to treat the same condition, and hopefully you could see some savings there.
The specialty drug manufacturers also have patient assistance programs that can get patients the drugs at a lower cost or even for free. Federally, there's been work to speed up generic medication competition and efforts to address high out-of-pocket costs for Medicare Part D. Now, some states have drug affordability review boards, and they're importing less expensive drugs from other countries.
Hey, good information, Annie. Thank you. And high-tech features in cars, they are keeping us safer, but they have some bugs too. And ahead in our lineup, what you should be watching for.
Onion puppy. Welcome back to the Now Indy on RTV6. I'm Amanda Starantino. A traffic alert that could impact your drive. Beginning at midnight, the Indiana Department of Transportation will close down the I-65 southbound exit ramp to Whitestown Parkway in Boone County for resurfacing. That closure will last until 5 tomorrow morning. Then, INDOT will close down the I-65 northbound ramp to Whitestown Parkway for resurfacing beginning at 7 tomorrow night, and that will last until 1 Thursday morning. And later in the week, there will be more ramp work on I-65 in Boone County. We have details about all of that up right now on the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com. And tonight, investigators are trying to figure out what caused an early morning fire at a duplex on the west side. The fire started just after midnight on West McCarty Street near I-70 and Harding Street. All 5 people that lived in the duplex, along with a cat and a guinea pig, got out safely, but the Indianapolis Fire Department says the home is a total loss.
Safety features in cars like automatic emergency braking are becoming standard, but Annie Taylor found out there are mixed reviews about how the technology works.
From cameras to sensors and audible tones, more and more new cars offer safety technology to drivers.
They're much faster at detecting incidents or possible crashes much faster than people are.
Maybe that's why Consumer Reports found 60% of car owners who have this type of safety technology say it's helped them avoid a crash. Kelly Funkhauser with Consumer Reports say these types of safety features are becoming standard.
2 years ago, there were just a handful of vehicles where this was standard equipment. And then as of last year, that number rose to almost 50% of vehicles that were coming equipped with automatic emergency braking,
as well as backup cameras. But Kelly says as much as people love these features, there are downsides.
Unfortunately, though, some of these sensors are quite costly to repair if you do get into an accident.
According to AAA, minor crashes can cost $3,000 more just to repair pricey sensors. Consumer Reports surveyed new car owners and found they find lane assist features annoying, but they love backup cameras and automatic braking. Despite the pricey fix, Kelly says never skimp on cars that have safety features.
If there's any way that you can prevent an accident or even reduce the impact of that accident, these technologies are fantastic and are just going to keep getting better every year.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
All right, good information, Annie. Thank you. And with more attention on who's collecting data on us and what they're doing with it, some companies are taking action now. The Hill is reporting that popular DNA testing companies formed a coalition for genetic data protection. What they're really doing is trying to get ahead of any possible regulation and show what they're doing to protect DNA records. More than 26 million people have added their DNA to these databases. All right, let's get back to our lineup. And after big name brands recalled baby sleepers, there's some new concerns about similar products still for sale. What pediatricians say babies should be using instead.
Tune up for only $89. For on time.
Let's start the Now News feed with the next state to legalize recreational marijuana. Today, Illinois became the 11th state to give it the green light. Medical marijuana was already legal there. A sad story with a happy ending, though. This picture of a dog went viral after his owner passed away from cancer. This is 3-year-old Moose waiting by his owner's hospital bed. The New Jersey shelter that took Moose in says he has been adopted by a family nearby. This picture was shared hundreds of times on Facebook, and the shelter says that people from all over the world reached out to adopt this dog. dog. Walmart is now accepting SNAP benefits as payment for groceries online. Now, people can pay with SNAP benefits when they pick food up. Now, Walmart says it is the first retailer to offer this for online grocery pickup. Restaurant workers are honoring Anthony Bourdain. Today would have been his 62nd birthday. And to remember him, several organizations and groups are reaching out to people in the food service industry to make sure they're okay. Now, the Giving Kitchen is based in Georgia. They have a nationwide program to provide suicide prevention training for free. More than 400 food service workers have signed up since May. It can be done in just 45 minutes online.
It just equips you to be able to have conversations with someone who's really having a hard time, to recognize the signs, recognize the signals, and know what resources are in your community to be able to get them the professional help they need.
Now, a link to the suicide prevention training is available for restaurant workers on thegivingkitchen.org. You can also find other mental health resources there. And other restaurants are having their own employees take this training, and they're also taking other measures to make sure employees don't fall victim to substance abuse. Staff at Button & Co. restaurants in North Carolina, they're not allowed to drink alcohol on the premises. Now, owners say that drinking during shifts, it's a popular pastime among staff at many restaurants, but instead employees are offered free counseling. Many restaurant owners say that food service workers, they struggle with mental health, partly because they just work so incredibly hard, but don't always have resources available to help them get through it.
Thank you, Chris. It's a unique opportunity to teach kids about fire safety by letting them become a firefighter for a day. Today marked the first of 3 days for the Indianapolis Fire Department's Firefighter for a Day camp at the Warren Township Government Center. Kids went through some of the training firefighters have to go through. They were able to shoot water from a fire hose, and it took quite a few children to hold that hose up. The kids climbed ladders and also practiced calling 911 and learned the appropriate times to dial 911. Most importantly, they learned about safety.
You get the experience of what firefighters do in reality, and you get to learn all about fire safety.
Is this something you're interested in doing someday?
Yes.
Why?
It's cool just to know that you're saving people and you have a big impact on people's lives.
Well, to end the day, firefighters cooled the kids off with a fire hose. About 200 Indianapolis area children between ages 7 and 12 will attend the camp each day for a total of 600 kids. It will continue tomorrow and Thursday. Kevin, it looks like they had a blast, and the weather really played along, too.
A great day to get wet, and that is one powerful sprinkler.
Yes.
Knock you right over. I recognize that. That is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're looking from the Salesforce Tower toward the pagoda, and then the stands down the front straight away. And what a beautiful evening. This would have been a good race day. I think you'd agree with that. 83 degrees, that's our current temperature. Humidity under control, and the wind out of the southwest at 16. Southwest wind will be the controlling factor next several days, which will warm us up and bring in more humidity. Nice breeze, and it's a little stronger to the north, gusting to almost 30 in Lafayette, mid-20s anywhere from Logansport through Kokomo, Marion, Hartford City, a little stronger to the north and northwest. Closest rain over Lake Michigan. We'll keep our eye on what happens in Iowa, because this will try to move to the east, but at least for now, our atmosphere is kind of in a mode where it's going to stiff arm any showers and thunderstorms. This should weaken, erode a little bit. It may make it into northwest Indiana overnight into the morning, but not have a big impact. Okay, temperatures tomorrow a little warmer. We'll continue our climb. The chance for a shower or thunderstorm is there in the afternoon, mainly after 4 o'clock, and the best chance will be in the northern half of the state. Temperatures through central Indiana at or above average for this time of the year. The warmest average high that we'll have occurs in July. That's about 86 degrees. Tomorrow, duck here, 7 a.m. There's your time. As we go into the afternoon, still quiet through early afternoon. By the time we get 4 to 7, we begin to see some of these bubble up. They won't have great coverage, and they'll be hit and miss through the afternoon hours. On Thursday, with rain chance down to 20% or less, temperature continues to climb into the upper 80s.
A big announcement for the Customs and Border Protection Agency as its acting commissioner is stepping down. Meanwhile, Mexico's president says his country's immigration efforts are focused on its southern border. That's despite moving thousands of soldiers to its border with the United States. All of this is happening after President Trump gave Congress 2 weeks to come up with an immigration deal. Otherwise, he says he'll move forward with immigration raids and mass deportations. And as Corey Rangel shows us, a growing number of undocumented immigrants are going into hiding, trying to figure out their rights.
It's a full class at this legal clinic near Washington, D.C. CASA, an immigration advocacy group, holds the free course every week to teach immigrants their rights if they come in contact with immigration officials, which has now become a bigger concern after President Trump promised to hold deportation raids in cities across the country.
I think there is a greater sense of fear in the community around, the fact that their families could be targeted by ICE.
This woman says she became so desperate to escape poverty in Guatemala, she spent an entire month on a bus traveling to the U.S., hoping to find a better life for her children. If she gets caught up in an immigration sweep, she says she worries about what would happen to her children.
She's very scared about being deported and separated from her children.
Many of those who have attended these classes now only leave their home when they absolutely have to, skipping out on seeing friends, going to church, and in some cases, even going to the doctor. CASA workers are now going into those scared immigrant neighborhoods and passing out cards with advice on what to do if they come in contact with an immigration agent. While the president has postponed plans for nationwide immigration raids, he says they're still on the table if Congress does not act quickly.
The people that came into the country illegally are going to be removed from the country. Everybody knows that.
The president's supporters want him to stick to that promise.
They have no legal right whatsoever to stay in the country. So deporting them, making an effort to deport them, I think is not only appropriate, but it would demonstrate the seriousness which the U.S. should take in force against immigration law.
Meanwhile, with a divided Congress and a short 2-week deadline, it's a long shot lawmakers will pass any meaningful immigration changes, leaving many guessing if the president will go through with his immigration raid ultimatum. In Washington, D.C., I'm Corey Rangel reporting.
All right, Corey, thank you. And new numbers are showing that at least 50 babies have died in incline sleep products. That's similar to the Fisher-Price Rock and Play sleeper. Fisher-Price and the brand Kids 2 have recalled their products. Other manufacturers are still selling similar sleepers that could pose a danger for small children. That's according to Consumer Reports. Now, most baby sleepers have an incline of 10 to 30 degrees, but the American Academy of Pediatrics doesn't recommend babies sleep at an incline. It could compromise their airway and lead to suffocation.
Gravity can pull them down, and so there's a possibility that their head can flop forward or to the side. And what that can do is, because babies' heads are relatively large and their necks are relatively weak, that can actually block the airway.
Pediatricians also warn families that incline sleepers aren't the only danger. Bouncer seats with an angle should not be used, and in the case of car seats, they should only be used in the car when an adult is present. Now, some parents, even doctors, may believe that a child needs to sleep at an angle due to a medical condition, but pediatricians warn there is evidence against that. Babies should only sleep at an angle in rare instances and only if the physician recommends it. In most cases, there are only a few safe ways for babies to sleep for the first 4 months.
On the back, on a firm, flat surface, in their own space, so not bed sharing with an adult.
Families who have any sort of incline sleeper or other device are encouraged to destroy them so other families won't end up using them. Well, you might want to ask your doctor about this newly discovered side effect of some common medications. Research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that certain drugs increase the odds of dementia by nearly 50%. These are drugs used to treat things like depression, motion sickness, muscle spasms, breathing, and bladder problems. This study came from looking at nearly 300,000 people for more than a decade. All right, next in our lineup, another Major League Baseball team is now planning to extend netting after a fan was hit with a foul ball. The changes other teams are promising. We're going to get into that. You're watching The Now.